Hello, everybody. Welcome along to another wonderful episode of the Monkey Barrel Comedy Chat Show, where we interview comedians that perform at Monkey Barrel Comedy. And this week, we have an incredible guest. It's the wonderful Stu Murphy, everybody.
Hello.
That's right. You got a whole camera to yourself now.
That's amazing. I need it. I need one wide lens camera.
Well, you've got a couch.
I'm amazed I'm only taking one half of the couch. I don't know if all your guests have a couch or whether you've just been very accommodating towards me.
Well, normally,
if
for people who watch the wonderful Sam Lake's podcast, Sam sits right next to those people, elbow to elbow.
Right.
And I was like, I do not want that. That is
No. You
not
have
okay.
your desk. You have your Johnny Carson-esque desk.
I have a loaded gun under here.
You've got a border going on. I had to hand in my passport before recording this.
I just like...
It's a friendly but respectful distance.
It's a little bit of distance to just make us both at ease. I think this is the most at ease podcast.
I think so. I think we're going to have fun. We're going to have a nice little conversation. But I'll never know the real George Fox.
You'll never feel my knee touch your knee.
Unless, who knows?
Unless, listen...
Patreon's got to have something, right?
We got to work towards something on this. Yeah. So usually I'll ask people, like, how would you describe your vibe, or how did you start in comedy? What I would love to start with today is perhaps my favorite story involving you, which is your incident with the newspaper. Would you be okay talking about that on the podcast today? Because I think it gives a nice little insight.
An introduction to my vibe.
It's a little shorthand to your vibe, I feel.
My vibe is generally a sort of, you're never going to see these people again in the audience. So let's just give them your best work, and if they don't like it, fuck them.
Yeah,
right. Their opinion is way down the list of people's opinions about that I worry about, and I don't worry about many. So I was doing this. I still do this improvised Harry Potter themed show. Mm-hmm. Now I've never read a Harry Potter film. Read a Harry Potter book, watched the Harry Potter film.
Yeah.
And they say that at the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. Our friend Will Name, MC Hammersmith, is also in the show. He acts as the sort of the host, if you like. And normally what happens is he will go on, we're wearing our cloaks, we have our wands, and the place is chock full of Harry Potter fans. And there's big theatres and stuff like that. And they're all really up for it. Some of them are dressed up as well. And so blah, 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 this is what the show's about. We get your suggestions, we do a Harry Potter story. By the way, this is Stu. Hello. He has never read a Harry Potter book or seen a Harry Potter film. And on occasion, some of them playfully go, boo. I go, shut up, nerds. I can take you all on a fight. I don't care about your crap book.
So this is the very start of the show.
The very start.
And you're already threatening to fight people.
We're going to have fun. We have fun.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple of shows have happened, and this was one such show. We were down I forget where. And I was having to host because Will wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And another player who would normally host in his stead, a guy called Sam, he wasn't there. So responsibility fell to me. So I was, this is the show, this is what it's about. Everyone, well, sure, hooray. And so, by the way, I should tell you, I'm the one in the cast here. They all know and love Harry Potter. I have never read a Harry Potter book, watched a Harry Potter film. And, of course, playful, boo. And I was like, you'd all suck my balls. Yeah. And so far, so fun.
Yeah.
We went on. We had a lovely show. Everyone had a great time, except for one woman and her boyfriend, apparently, who I have no proof of this, but I'm convinced was just downtrodden and led by her. Everyone went.
I appreciate you saying you got no evidence.
Suck my balls. She apparently, I never saw this because she was right at the back, got up and walked out with her cloak on. Just gathered up her wand and went, well, really?
Do you think it really caught the wind? It was very dramatic.
It was in a church.
Oh,
the
perfect.
The space was in an old church, an unconsecrated church. So it was just like, the affront of it all, to criticize my wizard where Jesus used to hang out. But anyway, she apparently, the staff was saying she was a nightmare.
Oh, God.
She was drunk, she was abusive, and it was her birthday.
Oh, well, of course it was.
I'd ruined her birthday. Now, if she'd have said something to us, which she didn't, or the staff, which she didn't, it would have been fine. We could have apologized or said, I don't care.
Yeah.
That would have been an end of it.
You could have walked up to her and said, I say that at every show, it just settles the room. It's not about you.
Exactly. Stop being so short and ugly. Get over it.
I like that I'm trying to balance this out for you. And you're like, let me go one step further.
I'm in a mood. I've got excess stardom dripping off me. I've got some charisma got to go somewhere. But instead, and this is what boils my blood, she went to the very next day, presumably quite hungover. She went to the local paper.
Oh, God.
And so there's a picture of her on the front of the, I don't know, the Chichester Courier or whatever it is. Whatever rag this paper, just pointing at the door of the theatre going, that look on her face.
I have to ask the question. Did she have the wand pointing at the door?
Oh, yeah. She'd bought a new wand and cloak for her birthday, and apparently I'd ruined her birthday. And this story, someone picked it up on Twitter and just tweeted it out with the article about me saying, suck my balls, ruined my birthday, etc. Her compo face on the front of the paper. And all he put in the tweet was, one shouldn't laugh. And a link to the thing. And it just... all my friends got hold of it. They all instantly knew it was me that had said it because I wasn't named in it at all.
I knew. I saw it and I didn't even see the picture.
Instantly it was
and
me.
I knew it was you.
Exactly. And the thing was, at that point, I'm probably still to this day, the Spontaneous Players website does not have my photo on it. So the story got picked up by all the Red Tops and the Daily Mail and the Express and all that kind of the right-wing press. And it was all like woke comedy, frothing bullshit. And my photo never appeared once. I was never named. They had Will's photo in it a couple of times.
Oh, God.
So I caused this one-day storm and got away completely scot-free.
Completely scot-free.
Yeah.
You were the world's perfect little stinker. You were like, did I do that?
Did I tell you to suck my balls? I think I'll do it again. In fact, I've done it several times.
Of course you have.
How I sign off when I leave Sainsbury's. Bye, Sainsbury's. Get my nectar card back. Suck my balls.
Was there ever any message or any interaction with that woman? Did she ever send an email or message to you? No?
No.
She's just out there miserable now.
I bet she's miserable all the time.
Obviously.
I'll tell you this, right? There was one time in the Fringe, I was doing a stand-up just down at one of Ross Leslie's shows.
Yes.
And it was just a mixed bill show. And I was doing stuff going very well. Had a great time. And I was... and someone in the audience, a guy of about 45 years old, shouted out, Hibbs! For no reason whatsoever.
Okay.
So I pulled him up on it. And someone else on the further end of the row, completely unrelated, shouted, Jambos! I was like, oh, right, fine. Before we have some sort of hooligan kick-off, can we get back to the comedy, please? Everyone laughs, carry on with the show, big success. And he's raging at me at the end. I leave stage. Ross goes back on. I'm the last act on, so as I'm walking out, he grabs my arm and he's like, I'm not a football hooligan. And I resent that you call me. Hey, first of all, let go of my arm. Second of all, we're not having this conversation while Ross is on stage. You want to talk to me? You talk to me politely at the bar at the end. Fine. And we chatted, and it's like, and he's cross-examining me. And he went, you insinuated I was a football hooligan. You could have said so. I was like, it was a joke. And it's like, if I alluded to the fact, alluded, you outright said I was a football hooligan. And his wife is there and going, you have ruined his birthday. And I was like, for fuck's sake. At that point, the bouncer steps in and looks at me and goes, oh, I know. Go sit in the dressing room. You two out.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me, because I think there are people out there who live to complain.
Love it. It's
thrilled to feel the heroin-like rush of indignation and the feel of being hard done by. Yeah. And am I the only one who stands up for truth and justice?
Let's be honest, when you complain, it does give you a rush of adrenaline. And some people absolutely get addicted to that endorphin rush as well of being in the right. Yeah. And it's so weird. It's almost
even
like...
when they know they're wrong.
Yeah.
There's like...
I'm just going to triple down on this. This is a disgrace.
This is a disgrace.
And then you see, I love all the videos on the internet where people are trying to complain and then they go, no, your order's over here, or it's at this address, or it's being delivered tomorrow. And they go, oh, okay. Well, someone should have called me or something and told me. And this completely collapses underneath them.
I love it. I love watching videos on YouTube of stuff like Karens. You call them Karens, that kind of person that complains.
Karens and Darrens.
Just being undercut completely. I want to talk to the manager. I am the manager. Well, yes. You should be.
You should be.
And you should be ashamed of what has happened here. I'm not ashamed.
I saw one.
You got
I want
what
to
you
talk to
ordered.
your head office, and the person said there is no head office.
no
Oh
head
no, they said let me get head office. I went down under the desk and then came back up and said, "Hello, I'm head office.
Yes.
We're literally a mom and pop store. You fucking idiot."
Yes, exactly. I would like to talk to your area manager. The area manager comes out. Taser. Taser, right. I love that kind of stuff.
There should be a phone line you can ring up. It should be you on the other end of the phone line where people complain and you're on the other phone line. They call you up and you're the manager for resolving this issue. And every time you're just like, tase them.
It should be like, hello, couldn't give a shit. What was that? Yeah, couldn't give a shit. Okay, bye.
Tell them to suck your balls.
Suck my balls. Yeah, and then I could run an alternative business going, have you been told to suck the balls by someone you think wronged you? Maybe you're entitled to compensation. Send £100 to Couldn't Give a Shit Enterprises. See what happens. Because you'll get a lovely more complaint about it.
They've never used your picture, so
They've
it's
never used my
perfect.
picture. Oh,
what
perfect.
a scam you've come up with.
Don't want to be the face of ball sucking. I don't want to be that guy.
Oh, God. This whole thing...
Someone came out to me in the street.
Oh, yeah?
I said, because they know me from just seeing the Potter show,
Yeah.
and said, hey, could you tell me to suck your balls? I was like, yeah, I can. I'm not perfectly good, but I'm not entirely happy with it. But you know what? Sure. You've asked respectfully.
You never know what your cross to bear will be.
Exactly.
You don't
People
want to...
would go up to Frank Sinatra and say, could you please sing My Way? Like, oh, God, when will this horror ever end? Is ball sucking my way?
Yeah, it is.
I
it is.
really hope it doesn't end like that.
Wait, at your funeral, we all stand
the
up.
epitaph writes itself, doesn't it? He's sucking balls in heaven.
You were speaking about Harry Potter fans there. For the most part, they are right.
Nice people.
Nice. They seem like nice people. I did get to see a thing one time where I saw an article pop up and it was about a kind of a lived experience, or like, what would you call it? It's like interactive theater, where there's a castle in Poland. And it's not Hogwarts, but the idea is they're pretending it's Hogwarts,
Sure.
and people will buy tickets and go along, sometimes in
For the
groups,
experience.
sometimes in couples. And you basically, they do each season. So you'll have like the people that go there are there for the same amount of time as you are. You're there for a week.
Right.
And that counts as the year of Harry Potter.
So
at the
Monday
end,
is spring.
Yes.
Right, gotcha.
And at the end of the week, they take their class photos together and or individually as well. And you can go through them on the website. So I clicked on the website and I was looking through the years of people. And the first few years are just like people in their little outfits with their wands. And then a certain point comes along where people who are into Harry Potter less as a literary thing or, you know, an entertainment thing. And it is clearly their sexual kink.
Really?
And no kink shaming, but... One of the photos were people dressed as, you know, their outfits. And then I clicked to the next photo and it was a woman bound completely in leather with a crown, with a leash. And she has her partner on a leash, just dressed as like a hound in PVC leather on the ground. And I just remember thinking, that's a tough class year.
That has little to no connection to Harry Potter as far as I can see.
Unless he was meant to be Robbie
Maybe
Coltrane's.
I should read the books.
Yeah. If I said any words now that it could be, you'd be like, I don't know what that is.
It's just some guy dressed as a dog yelling Quidditch at the top of his voice. Just a safe word.
But there's so many questions of like, was he a dog the whole time?
I don't expect.
Was there points where he could come out of that, or was it just for the photo shoot? Like, it would be weird if they were doing, you know, magic tricks and mixing cocktails, and he's still just sniffing everyone's feet.
Fucking hell, Gerald. Let it go. I went to the Harry Potter castle to have a good time with my husband on my birthday. And it was ruined. Ruined, I say, by a man in a PVC dog costume. Exploring his sexual side for the entire week. Yeah, well, I couldn't give a shit. Hang on, a PVC dog costume, you say? All of a sudden, I could give a shit. Tell me more. I'll do nothing about it, but tell me more.
You're on board.
Yeah, but I'm going to record this.
Yeah, if they ring you up for the phone line to complain, you're like, protect those people, whoever they are. I want to see them.
I
But
want them hired. I want them back here.
they should be part of the cast.
Should
Welcome in. This is the dog of the castle. Bow wow. But at the very end of it, they had their separate photos, and the very last photo was the class photo. And you could just see how happy this lady was and how happy this dog was and how miserable everybody else was to be in that photo.
You have tarnished our adult school child fantasy.
You could see in their heads, they're like, well, we're not going to pay for the big glossy version of this photograph. This is not going up in our house. And then I clicked to the following year, and I'm going to say in the following year, there was only maybe 2 or 3 people that were in the normal outfits. Word had got out.
Really?
Let your freak flag fly,
I
folks.
imagine it's a very tight-knit community, the latex dog community. I think we're 6 to 18 months away from 3 latex dogs being on Only Connect. We're called Woof Justice.
Yeah.
And it's just some guy with Alsatian, his white, clean, vinyl tug hanging out. Can I have the feather, please? Hey, Victoria, thank you.
I would love if someone came dressed as that for like the Antiques Roadshow and nobody acknowledges it.
That's exactly what I want to see.
Yeah. but he'd be showing off something like, this could be worth £10,000. And I'm like, wow, that really is going to make my tail wag. Thank you very much.
They should just have, on Valentine's Day, every year, an Antiques Roadshow vinyl special where people come up. It doesn't matter what it is, all sorts of vinyl. I think this might be an original Gainsborough. Can you tell us all about it? Camera cuts to someone in a white, clean Gestapo outfit. Just going, well, my grandfather brought it back from World War II. Don't worry, he was on the right side. Eh? And it's like, no one acknowledges it.
Just continues on the whole time.
Join us again for another stain-free Antiques Roadshow, this time next year. Please address your complaints to Couldn't Give a Shit.
Couldn't give a shit.
BBC
That's the phone
Television
line.
Centre.
That phone line just solves so many issues in the world.
It
Couldn't
does.
give a shit. Let's move on.
It's the first nail in the coffin of democracy is what it is.
They came for the do not give a shit phone line, and I said nothing, for I did not give a shit.
I wrote to my MP, and you would not believe what happened. Is it nothing? Yes, nothing happened. And there's no one I can complain to.
Okay, well, hey, let's look back. We've spoken about something scandalous that happened to you in the past. Let's see if we can get another scandalous thing, because something to relax our guests in is we do the social media.
Exposing their scandals?
Yeah, social media deep dive. We're going to go into one of your old social media posts. We're going to bring it up on screen now.
Wow.
So here we go. Here's one of your older posts. And that is formatted very strange for our screen. You won't see it at home, but for us right now, it's there we go. It's fixed now. Well, let's see if Ewan decides to extend it out for the joke. So for people who are listening to the audio, this is a picture of you with half a beard. You've shaved half your face.
Mustache shaved off.
If you're listening, you want to see this, remember you can jump on YouTube where the video of our show is.
Yeah.
So this was 19th of March 2020. This was right at the start. This was only a couple of days in.
Yes, this was absolutely just a couple of days in.
I'm pretty sure I did the Best of Irish at the Stand on the 18th of March, and then lockdown happened. So I think this is day one.
Yeah, this is like, because I had shows on the Tuesday, and they got pulled.
Yeah.
And then it was
very
like
quick.
the day later, it was something like, we're going into lockdown. There's nothing. So I was just like, oh fuck. Well, I'm not going to be gigging anytime soon. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to shave the beard and the mustache off anyway. And
You
so
did the opposite of what most people do during
just did
lockdown.
half. And I thought, hang on. And then I took that photo, got bored of the lockdown one day in. And there were some comments there, and most of the 2 comments on that particular format was just like, it's one day. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Day one. I would love to see you with this look on the Antiques Roadshow, not acknowledging it at any point.
Yes, just with vinyl half beard.
Yeah.
Because I remember this story from a book I read when I was a kid about it was just a kid's fact book. And I forget the guy's name, but it was an ancient Greek or an ancient Roman who had been publicly ridiculed or shamed for doing something.
Yeah.
And he felt such utter dejection that he decided to shave off half his beard and moustache like that. Mm-hmm. So he would be too embarrassed to walk out in public.
Okay.
And, face the ridicule of his fellow citizens.
And the shock on people's
And
faces.
that just stuck with me. Yeah, people
Yeah.
go, half a beard moustache, burn him as a witch. You know? I don't know. But that stuck in my head. And so I thought, we'll try it. And I shaved off the rest of the beard and moustache about 2 minutes after I took that photo.
Of course.
Of course. I just thought, well, let's see how this looks. I feel not as much shame as an ancient Roman.
No, I mean that's a pretty good way to go if you're going to do the mustache. Some people do the shave everything off and then go down to the Hitler mustache, and I think that's never a good idea.
Yeah, that is proof that I am not a Nazi.
Exactly. You had the chance right there.
I don't think I would ever need proof, but it's nice to know it's there. I am not a Nazi. There. Any more scandals you want me to dig up?
All this talk of PVC, it's a very Axis-heavy episode.
I don't know that the Nazis were big sexual kink people. I don't know.
Well, movies seem to think that that's the case.
Well,
Whenever you watch a B movie, you're like, I guess those Nazis were really into kink and leather. maybe they're just horny.
The
They're so
Bavarian
horny.
short slapping dance. Come on. There's got to be something there.
So how when you went through lockdown, was there anything else? Was this your big moment? Because I know a lot of people ended up with having, baking bread. Some people, I remember grew my beard long for the first time. People did things that weren't healthy for them. Most people started on Twitch, not healthy.
Yeah,
Don't do
not
that.
healthy in the slightest. I thoroughly enjoyed lockdown.
Yeah.
It was me by myself in my flat. I had to stay in, watch movies, read books, play games, and they pay me for it. Whoa, what? What a tragedy.
Oh, no, awful.
What a tragedy. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't mind solitude at all. And I was like, people can't come around my house by law? Damn it.
There was a real nice feeling of, that there's that fear of missing out where people are, other people are doing things. And it almost gives you a guilt where like, other people must be doing stuff. I'm sitting at home. What a piece of shit I am.
Yeah.
But when everyone's in the exact same scenario, like, is that ever going to happen again on this planet where everyone is doing nothing and just trying to get through? And even that was a struggle.
Apparently there are going to be diseases coming that will require that sort of global lockdown again. But I don't think people are going to be eager to do it.
No.
They're going to have to be some actually sort of like demonstrably turn you inside out kind of diseases.
I think if it was COVID again, people go, we're just going to lose a couple million people.
Science will save us again, right?
If it's something that it turns you into a plate of spaghetti, then maybe...
Exactly. Oh my God,
people go,
my arse has fallen out in the middle of Aldi.
And
the places.
There'd be some people who'd still be like dragging their ass around with them, and they'd be like, I'm fine.
When they said, here are your instructions for how to wash your hands. That's when I lost faith in this country. It's like, you're a mammal. You were born with these hands and you don't know how to put them together with soap and water. And you vote?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And then I remember Brandon Flowers from The Killers came out and did a video of like, hey, here you can sing the first 2 verses and wash your hands. And you're like, well, that's just more convenient.
Like,
I got to ignore the start of it and then go into the verse and then stop and not finish the song. That's hell.
Yeah, I saw those instructions and I thought, the government think we're idiots.
Yeah.
And largely, they're not entirely incorrect. There's a large number of idiots out there. But
some people out there know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They can wash their hands. They can go to the toilet. Some people, freaks, I imagine, correlate and write down how many poops they take all the time.
I know. That's that kind
I
of
imagine that's the
insanity.
thing.
I mean, let's not kink shame.
Well, that's not...
But some people have been known to do that. I tell you what, though, what I liked was it became a sort of nightly ritual. Was myself and a couple of buddies, we all had sort of like PlayStation. We play like Warzone.
Yeah.
So like these massive arenas, so you just jump on, work as a team, and shoot other people.
Yeah.
And we had to, which is something I'd never really done before.
And there's like lots of battle royals where it's like a team of 4 usually,
exactly.
and then there's like 50 other teams of 4.
But we'd be sitting there with our respective drinks and what have you, and connected by microphone and having a chat that way. It was the nearest you could get to lads' mental health. It's like, but I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who will go to therapy and we're just like, let's just shoot some bricks and see how we're all doing today.
I think there's more likelihood for a bunch of guys killing aliens online or whatever, they're doing, blowing stuff up, and then it just being like 2 guys, just the other guys are leaving, and the other guy's like, So how you doing? That's more realistic of an opening up moment than guys out with each other.
Apparently, that's exactly what happened in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Really?
You know, you can Grand Theft Auto 5. You can go in rooms with your friends, or you can go in rooms with random people.
Strangers, yeah.
And that's what people would do. And this was before lockdown. People would go in there and just get their avatars in Grand Theft Auto 5. So you're guaranteed anonymity if your name on the game is Spiky Dave or something like that. Yes. And they'd all meet on the top of Mount Chiliad and just sort of stand there, and the characters just going, "Oh, so how's everyone doing? Thanks for sharing." You know, stuff like that. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Anonymous mental health care with presumably no trained professionals. Yeah. Sometimes I just feel like I want to shoot up a town. You are in luck.
Let's go do that in-game right now and then get it out of your system.
Exactly.
I remember many years ago, would have been Grand Theft Auto 4, which had the first online mode, where there was nothing really to do. You could just be loaded into that game world. So it was just chaos.
Yeah.
But me and a comedian friend of mine were playing it. And so we found like a little minivan, but it was skinned in GTA to be like a tour bus, I guess.
Sure.
We stole it. And then we just started driving up to groups of people and be like, well, look who it is, huh? You're late for the tour. Get in. We're going to show you around. And eventually we got 8 people that got into the van. We just drove them around the city, just showing them, this is the pizza shop where she told me she wanted a divorce. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. Broke my heart. I can't look at pepperoni the same way again.
That. I absolutely love that. There was a time during lockdown, it must have been, where I was just walking around going, I'm not going to commit crimes. I'll go to my job as a pickup truck driver, where I'm going to tow vehicles. And that's, police car going past, morning officer. just walking up, pressing a button, you can say hello to people.
Yeah.
Hi there. And the amount of people were just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Pull out a gun and start shooting. He's like, I never wanted this. I never wanted this.
So I think with Red Dead Redemption 2, the latest one, you can do you have a button for positive and a button for negative responses. But I think with Grand Theft Auto 5, it was just look at the drawer. So
like
you press the button,
randomness.
and your character would go, good morning. And then you press it again and be like, you're a real ugly piece of shit. Like, why am I feeling like this?
Wow. Racist.
One of the things I remember from when Grand Theft Auto Online first came out, the fifth one, which was 10 years ago, was people, I don't know if it was just for a short term, but you could hear other people in the game playing.
Yeah.
And at the very start of it when it came out, I didn't realize this, they put a thing in where if somebody went to the strip club and had a striptease and their microphone was on and open, it would just make it audible to anyone in that local area. I remember driving by and I just heard a guy in the strip club and he was just like, oh shit, oh damn, wow. Oh my God, I wish I could bring you home with me. Oh, wow, this is my dream, girl. Oh, damn.
No.
And then I burst in a shot and I went, suck my balls. No, I kept driving. I thought, well, enjoy your Sunday, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to do things in Grand Theft Auto that you wouldn't do in real life. I don't know how you like to burst into lap dancing clubs, shoot people in the face. It serves you right.
And then I sit down and go, oh God damn, girl. And then someone bursts in and shoots me.
This is really badly rendered.
Yeah, it's just an Ouroboros of horny men dying on the internet.
I have to go to my mental health meeting on top of a mountain.
I did it again, guys.
Did it again.
All right. So thank you for showing us the wonderful post. And obviously, if people want to follow you online, that's a great place to go to Stu J. Murphy on Instagram and see pictures like that. So our next section, we like to have a little question for what is, at least to your recollection, what is the first joke you wrote that you remember? It doesn't need to be the very first one, but the first one that you were like happy with. First one sticks out in your head. Doesn't necessarily need to be the very first, but when you think back to early days, what's a joke that you no longer use? One of your earliest ones that you remember?
My God, you're going back now.
I know.
It's like the early 90s. I remember.
Would it be a joke reference like Jurassic Park?
No, worse than that, man. It was a joke referencing the Crystal Maze.
Oh yes. Well, I still see those today. So
yeah, really. Oh, thank fuck. Yes, I'll give that a run out tonight. No, perfect. it was a whole. It could have been a routine, but of course back then I've just started out. The whole thing was over in a minute or something, and it was basically how I wanted to be in charge. I take drugs and watch TV. And so I would think, I want to be in charge of the crystal maze.
Yeah.
So instead of physical, mental, mystery games, you would have weed, speed, and mushrooms games. So the weed games is, I can't remember a lot of it. The weed games is something like you've got to solve the mystery of life.
And just really feeling it in that room.
The speed game is you've got to clean the kitchen in under 2 minutes. And the mushroom game is you've got to get through the door before it turns into a bear.
It feels like these are 3 rooms you do in a row.
Well, this is it. You could also, every contestant would have to be on one particular drug. And so you could send people who are on speed into the weed game.
Oh.
So they just get, how's the solve the mysteries of life? It's good. It's bad. It's a balance. Let me out of this fucking room. Send the weed guy in to clean the kitchen. And it's like, this fine. The kitchen's fine.
The kitchen's
There's
clean, man.
vegetation growing. You've got to be at one with nature. And the mushroom guy is still trying to get through the door before it turns into a bear.
Yeah, you can't send the mushroom guy anywhere else. It's
Exactly.
like, you've just got the door.
Exactly.
If he goes into the room that needs to be cleaned, he's going to be like, where all these snakes come from?
There's a bear! There's a bear everywhere!
So how would you say your like writing process has changed from, you know, when you first started out in early 90s to now? Is it more of is it still a process of sitting down and writing, or is it more trusting the experience of going on stage and thinking things out?
It's a mixture of both. Mm-hmm. A lot of it comes from, I'll get the idea for a joke or a bit and then just do it in various iterations on stage and see what sticks and what works and expands on it and cut stuff out and let it develop and grow. Sometimes I would actually sit down and slavishly force myself to write something. And that sometimes it works. Sometimes I've got jokes I've done over and over again from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always thought, certainly my experience has been, once you actually physically write something down, it's not funny.
Because you've essentially created, this is the structure it has to be told,
Yes,
and this is how I'm going to tell it every time. Where sometimes you don't necessarily know that, especially when you get on stage, and sometimes your brain will just go, I should be doing it this way, or I should be coming at it this direction.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember this next bit.
Yeah.
Or well, if I've missed a bit out, I'll loop back and do that.
And you're more worried about hitting the structure of that sentence you've written or that joke you've written.
It's more about reminding myself of the jokes I've got to do. So I'll have it written out sort of 3 pages worth.
Yeah.
For instance, and then I'll make notes in the margins of a word, a keyword, which will remind me of that little bit, that little passage, that little joke. And then I'll just do it several times on stage and see what works and see what I've forgotten. And some clubs, Monkey Barrel included, are very good for recording you.
Yes.
And then you can watch and listen to those back. I hate listening to myself back.
Of course, it's hell.
And I know you've got to do it, but I really don't.
It's really, I mean, it's so, even watching this, if you're hating this right now, think how I feel. Oh my God.
Pleasure to be here. Always a joy.
No, don't twist my words.
It's a mixture of both, and sometimes I'm amazed that something I've come up with on the fly works over and over again every time. And I'm equally, sometimes I'll work very hard at something that just goes, well, that didn't work.
Yeah,
and it didn't work 3 times.
Yeah.
So, nah.
Have you ever had a joke that you've not been able to work multiple times, and then you come back to it a few months later and you suddenly think, oh, this way, just a small tweak?
I don't remember a specific instance, but it's entirely possible.
Yeah, because I've had that myself a few times where it's like, I can't, sometimes it's like I'm doing this joke and it's about somebody doing this thing and I'm attacking it, and it's like, oh, it's too, what if I say I did that thing? Then it changes the joke, or sometimes it's something you've done and people can't enjoy it, so you need to place it on a third party and then attack that, and then suddenly everyone's on board with it. And it's weird how sometimes little tweaks like that, like it's frustrating, but it is always nice when you go, I knew that was fucking funny. I knew there was a way into that, and I just hadn't found it yet.
Bums.
Yeah.
I have these, I come up with these little lines and these little jokes that I just sort of seem to store away in my subconscious because they'll need very specific circumstances for them to come up.
Oh, yes.
I had this joke, which was funny to me. And I thought, I've really got to wait for the really, really specific circumstances for this to be coming out with. And it happened 20 years after I wrote the joke. I'm in an audience, I'm hosting the show, and there's a couple of sailors from the British Navy and a couple of sailors from the American Navy in the same room. And I was like, my God, this is it. This is it. I was like, what I love about the British Navy and I love about the American Navy is the different attitudes when it comes to naming their ships. So for instance, the British Navy have very more reserved. It's like you have the warships named the HMS You Sir Are Mistaken, and its sister ship, the HMS I'm Afraid I Must Insist. And you've got the American warship, the USS Can of Whoop Ass, and its sister ship, the USS Fuck You, That's Why. And I said that. It had been in my head for 20 years. It always made me laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, it looked completely improvised.
Yeah.
And it went down so well. And it was just like, okay, anyway, let's get the next act on, shall we? Inside, I'm just like, yes!
Just high-fiving everyone in the room.
Champagne for everyone. But for me, fuck everyone.
I guarantee the walk you did off stage was just it's just what I do. And then the second you got out, it's like, yes!
You've got it as well, I'm sure, so many times. You still get people come up to you when you're hosting going, you're very good, you should do a bit of comedy.
Yes.
And it happened to me just the other night. It said, have you ever thought of doing a little bit in the middle of the show? I was like, yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I have. You don't want to divest of that illusion that I'm just eagerly waiting that one of these people should sprain their ankle on the way to the stage and I'll have to jump in. It's my turn. It's my turn. Knock, knock, knock. Damn it, I fucked it up.
But also the idea of like, we've never thought of that before. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you mean I could do that?
I mean, I could do that. Oh my God.
I don't know.
Talk 20 minutes at a time instead of
Will
10 or 15?
you be my manager? I don't know how it works.
Wait, people get paid for this?
Well, we have some wonderful questions now from John Hastings, who was last.
John Hastings.
John Hastings was our guest last week, and John has sent in a clip.
I was working elsewhere. I missed him. I like John.
John is lovely. Like I didn't realize I've only known John through like online, and I've been on John's Twitch stream a few times, but I hadn't met John. And then John came along. I was like, oh my God, John's lovely.
John's great. He's one of those people who should be more widely known than he is.
Yeah. And I think he's like building up the momentum now because he's released 5 specials this year, and there's 2 more coming out, which is insane.
It's a mad amount of specials for him not to be on the likes of the streaming services.
But also it's such an incredible portfolio to have made, so that once he gets a little bit bigger, people can be like, oh my God, there's so much to watch.
Exactly. Well, I sit there watching it, I'm going, fuck you, John. How dare you have this much help?
John is great, but
be prolific on your own time, you prick.
It's really disgusting.
Fuck John Hastings.
It's absolutely fuck John Hastings. It's a disgrace.
Some of us hold on to jokes and bitterness for 20 years.
Well, fuck John Hastings now. We're going to go to John Hastings to get a fudge.
And he's here today.
But just before we go to John Hastings, a question we always ask our comedian that is guesting us is, how long do you think it took John Hastings to send in this clip? So we do a little guesswork every week.
He's got a
comedians are like an unknown quantity in terms of responding to things. So it could be instantly. It could be 2 weeks ago. We had literally like a half an hour before this started. We had. So we have to figure out what do you think you can.
So it was a week ago he was on, was it?
Yes, it was a week ago. Right. Okay. He was on. So we would have sent a message.
He's prolific. He travels a lot. I think he's very efficient. I suspect he's very efficient in that kind of thing. I'm going to say he's going to send it within 6 to 12 hours of being assigned it.
6 to 12 hours. That's a good guess. Okay. Well, we'll watch the clip and then we'll see what you think. You might want to change your guess. Let's have a look-see.
Oh, yeah. Monkey Barrel Podcast. I'm the original Monkey in the Barrel. John Hastings coming at you with 3 questions. Question number 111. It is... What's your favorite weird snack? Mine. Hummus and crackers eaten in a hotel bed. Number 2. Fuck, marry, kill. Trains, planes, automobiles. Number 3. What's the weirdest smell you've ever smelled or smell you've ever made? Mine was a fart that melted wallpaper when I was 11. It was in front of a woman named Tamara. She later said, "Let's kiss." And I always thought, what are you into, lady?
Thank you, John. Thank you, John Hastings.
Thank
well
you, John.
done.
What an array of questions. Wow, that was short and sweet. And by the look of his face at the end of it, I wonder how much thought. It's just like, yeah, roll him. Bye.
So, what do you think? Do you think the time estimate? Do you want to change it? Do you want to stick
No,
what he said?
I think, well, he had to get back to presumably his studio to do it. I'm trying to remember where he lives, presumably London. Let's say within the first 24 hours.
Okay. All right. Claire, give us an answer.
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes. to send the
20
questions for us.
minutes.
That
So
is
he
maybe
had-
our best one ever.
Yeah, it was,
He had access to the microphone
Yeah.
and stuff within 20 minutes. Oh my God. I'm
pretty
trying to remember, like a professional setup
Yeah.
microphone.
Sure,
as well.
microphone and all.
Does he take that to every hotel room? Oh my God.
The main question is
He
what?
truly is the Bob Dylan troubadour of modern comedy, isn't he?
What is he filming in these hotel rooms? Because he's not putting out a podcast yet. What is going on, John?
Doesn't matter. Don't ask questions.
Just prepared.
You make it sound there's only one side to John Hastings. There isn't. There isn't, you know.
Well, John asked a lot of important.
Another flurry of missing posters goes up in the city where John Hastings has played, and no police force has put two and two together.
Because they're too busy going, he's released another special.
Another
What?
special.
Oh my God, John Hastings.
God.
So John's first question was, what is your favorite weird snack?
My favorite weird snack. I like that he combines stuff. I don't know if it's particularly weird, but I do occasionally get into the mode of having, you know, flour tortillas.
Yeah.
I get a flour tortilla, 3 slices of pepperoni,
Yeah.
some mozzarella cheese,
Yeah.
a bit of chili flakes, salt, pepper, fold it over, and then fry it, and then fry it on the other side.
Oh my God.
Whole thing takes about 2 minutes for the cheese to melt,
Yeah.
and then a bit of salt over it, and then I've got a little cheesy snack. And by the time you're finished, you're going, I could go another one of them. And before you know it, especially in lockdown, you've gone through an entire pack of flour tortillas and you hate yourself. Got no pepperoni left. You've basically eaten a bag of hot cheese.
Yeah. You've eaten a bag
And
of
you're
hot
going,
cheese.
Thank God no one saw me do that. That's my favourite snack. I'll tell you a weird one. It's not mine, but a friend of mine. I, occasionally, like a normal person, when I'm sitting about, will drink coffee.
Yeah.
Some people, not my thing, but fine, will drink tea.
Okay. I'm a fan of tea.
I was like Simon Munnery's line,
Yeah.
which was my wife, I would always have tea, milk, and 2 sugars. Then my wife made me cut out sugar. And then when she went vegan, we cut out milk. So I had tea without milk and sugar, and I realized I didn't like tea. But some people drink coffee, some people drink tea. But a good friend of mine from back in the day, still a good friend now, and he would drink, instead of coffee or tea, he would have a mug of gravy with mint sauce stirred into it.
Sipping gravy.
Sipping gravy with mint sauce in it. That I've never had it. I've never gone near it. I've had mint sauce on toast though.
Oh my God.
I do like, I've done some obscene things with mint sauce. Just eating, like, I'm not
Yeah.
weird, but just I've eaten mint sauce
Yeah.
under the strangest of circumstances.
Is that
And
when
I-
you always know you're having a weird night if you just see, oh, there's mint sauce here.
There's mint sauce, got bits of bread.
Dipping it in.
Love mint sauce, me. There are some things chefs would hate me.
Yeah.
Because they'd make, it's a beautiful lamb dish. And I was like, it looks great. Can I make a big old tub of mint sauce, please? Just like, just drown it. Just use the lamb to mop up the mint. The lamb is a delivery system
For the mint sauce.
for meat juice infused mint sauce. There you are.
I do think I've heard of people doing that sipping gravy before, and it's so
It's
much.
It's cheap and it can't be good for you.
Because also, when you look at gravy, if you ever left gravy out, which everyone has, and you come back to it and the granules have just gone through more of a process and it's become more of a solid and more congealed, and you're thinking,
Oh, God,
it's doing that in my body when I eat
that
it.
gives me the heave.
But then also, very watery gravy is the worst thing on the planet.
I'm not a very big fan of gravy, to be honest.
I mean, I wasn't really until I came over here. Gravy seems to be on everything. People are mad for gravy.
People go mad for gravy on chips, and I don't get it.
An unfortunate facet of my
Curry
life.
sauce as well. I don't get that.
Yeah. An unfortunate facet of my life has
anywhere
become
near a curry.
on my Twitch stream, I will watch this guy called Rate My Takeaway. And he's a man who, during lockdown, started reviewing takeaways.
Sure.
And so maybe once, twice a week, we'll pop in and watch one of his videos. And that man loves gravy more than life itself. Every time he gets gravy, he takes it and goes, hey, cheers, guys, and takes a big glug of gravy.
There's a fetishization of
Big
gravy.
time, especially he's a Yorkshire man. So we're like, hey guys, you know what I'm like, guys. If the gravy doesn't plop out, it's not real gravy. Like if it's runny, he doesn't like it. So he will get a bit of fish, and he always pulls
you
it
don't
up.
have gravy on fish.
Oh, he loves it. Not only does he have gravy, he pulls the fish apart. He'll put big lumpy gravy. He'll put the curry sauce, and then he'll put the mushy peas all on top. He'll mix it up, and then he'll eat it. This man should not be allowed food, let alone review food.
That is you are just basically filling your body with what the autopsy would pull out as stomach contents. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can imagine Richard Dreyfuss
that philosophy,
pulling it out of a shark.
It's that philosophy of going, well, it all goes down the same hole. You know, well, that says maybe, but you have some decorum.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's your stomach's job to mush it all together and melt it, not yours.
Eat
yeah.
like a person. Use a utensil.
So our answer
on.
to what is your favorite weird snack is
what?
eat like a person.
Eat like, yeah. But I tell you what, I will admit, I have Yorkshire puddings
Yeah.
with food that doesn't normally have Yorkshire puddings with it.
Oh, I love this. What are you putting in there?
Just something simple. Fish cake and chips, some peas or some sweet corn on the side.
Yeah.
And a couple of Yorkshire puddings.
I feel Yorkshire.
I don't have sauce on them.
Yeah.
Maybe if I have tomato sauce, okay. But I always put the tomato sauce or the vinegar on after I've eaten the peas.
Of course.
I'll eat all the peas. Apparently, you're meant to eat the vegetables first. That's how it works.
Really?
Because you get that gets your things going,
Oh.
and then you eat the meat last.
There's so many
apparently.
like specific basic things for human beings that we're not told widely. Like, oh, you haven't been eating vegetables right away each time? No.
I haven't been eating vegetables for a long, long time. You should be grateful I'm having the peas.
Yeah.
Don't tell me there's an order.
There is a weird snack, which is people dipping fish fingers in custard. And that seems to be incredibly
Doctor Who.
popular.
That's from Doctor Who.
Yeah. So Doctor Who, I think, mentioned it, but I think people have done that before. Which I don't understand it. But people that do it say, oh, it's great. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things. I used to dip toast in yogurt.
Yeah.
Just
can
plain
imagine that.
white bread toast. Dip it in yogurt and eat that.
Yeah.
It was lovely. Fish and custard. That's
You could make that fancy. I could imagine. So, would you like your toast and custard? The
toast and
takeaway
yogurt
gives.
today, I think so. Toast and yogurt today. Strawberry.
My goodness, what a terrible day in Parliament. It's a real toast and yogurt night for me, I
It is.
think.
Whoever invented toast and yogurt, they're the ones that came up with the Muller fruit corner, I guarantee you that. They're making millions, living in their own filth in a massive house somewhere in Germany.
Yeah, I like the two people came up with it, and one of them had to kill the other. That's part of it. Really, real dark history for
It
that.
shall now be known as the Muller Schwarzkopf fruit corner. It won't fit on the label. Drink this. What? The Muller fruit corner.
We found the body buried in the corner of his garden under a giant lip of foil.
Under a rock garden that only covered one corner.
So John's other question was, fuck, marry, kill, trains, planes, and automobiles. This one's hard. And I'm guessing it's literal trains, literal planes, and literal automobiles, not the movie. It would be difficult to fuck, marry, kill between John Candy and Steve Martin.
Okay, I will. See, I don't drive. Mm-hmm. I can't drive. I can't be trusted behind the wheel.
No, I'm the same.
So I kind of depend more on trains. So, all right. So I would fuck planes because they're inherently more glamorous.
Yeah.
I didn't go on my first plane till I was about 20 something.
Yeah.
I never went on foreign holidays as a kid.
Yeah, I was the same. I never went on those
still,
holidays.
I don't go on them that often. I'm still thrilled by the idea of powered
yeah.
flight. It's still a very recent invention. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's looking out the window at the clouds going, this is awesome.
I still love that. I'm so blown away.
I
Like,
love
in
the
sky?
takeoff because you go from 0 to fucking hell
Yeah.
in a very short space of time. I'm just going, yeah! And it's that bit where we're climbing and you can see the ground just come away from you. And then you're over the fields.
Yeah.
And all sorts. And you're going, and at that, once I'm over the clouds, I'm all right.
Yeah.
And I'm all right in that initial climb. But when that initial climb and you can see the earth falling away, you just go, oh, if anything goes wrong, we're dead. Yeah. If anything goes wrong, we're dead. Yeah.
You're screaming that on the plane.
Just hit my own hand going, this is it. Fuck you.
What was that noise?
And then it's going, could you take your seat? We're about to serve drinks. Drinks. Yes.
We have drinks and we're locked into this room and you can't leave. So
Hey,
get on board.
Do you know what? So fuck planes.
Yeah.
But because
Also, you have a cigarette after sex. A lot of people think of that. You have a cigarette after a plane.
can do.
Can do. I think they're very appropriate.
There's alcohol involved.
Yeah.
Can be a long haul or a quick flight. You know. You can stay within your own country. You can end up somewhere exotic. You could go on a Virgin.
You're certainly going to be rubbing elbows with someone.
It's just like a dirty gangbang in terms of Ryanair flight. Come away with a disease you hadn't thought of. I would have to marry trains. I depend on them largely for my job. And, you know, they usually get me where they're going. Sometimes they break down. It's a marriage of convenience.
You can kind of switch off on a train as well. I feel like on a plane you kind of are always, because you're aware of the takeoff, you're aware of the landing. There's noise.
I'm not going to crash at 30,000 feet. It lacks that danger. But also sometimes, I mean, I can recharge my phone.
Yes.
Sometimes I get a little table to myself.
Yeah.
If I treat the train right, then it's usually a hassle-free trip. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just absolute bedlam, and I hate them.
Of course.
And they hate me too.
Yeah.
It's just like a marriage, I would imagine. Other people have been in my train.
I feel like if I get on a train to go down to do, like, I did a show in London last month and it was, it felt very much like left my front door, went, sat in a little chair for 4 hours, got off, walked to the gig in London. That feels like a very continued journey, but like something about going to the airport, getting on a plane, it feels disjointed. It doesn't feel like as connected. That's what I love about trains.
For my next trip to London, I looked at the price of a train from Waverley to King's Cross, presumably, and it was more expensive than the plane.
Yeah.
Now, once you factor in the travel from Heathrow to central London, it's probably going to end up the same or maybe slightly more expensive.
Yeah.
But it's more dangerous, more glamorous.
Yeah.
I prefer. So, yeah, fuck the plane, marry the train, and I'd kill cars.
Yeah.
I'd kill cars because other than traveling when other people are driving, I have to pay for them with a taxi or something. And it's just like, and, you know, we don't need all these cars.
There's so many cars all the time driving around, and a lot of people don't know how to use them.
Exactly.
And there doesn't seem to be a further check.
So many people die in car accidents every year.
Oh, yeah, it's wild.
And there's a whole environmental argument.
Like when people talk about...
because I don't come into contact with them as often as maybe other people.
Well, when people talk about self-driving cars and they talk about Elon Musk and all the people dying, and they go, well, you know, it's a smaller amount of people dying. Like I think it's maybe like 20 people a year dying from these self-driving cars. But he's coming out and then going, oh, but also... 2,000 people are dying every year, and you're like, I don't like either of these figures.
Exactly.
These are both bad figures.
I wouldn't mind self-driving cars if I could just go, oh yes, I'll order a self-driving car, and a car comes up and then takes me home, for instance.
That sounds great.
Fine, a driverless taxi essentially.
Yeah,
and then that's fine. But I don't want Elon Musk to be the one to invent it. I want someone who knows what they're doing and isn't sort of on the balance of mental illness all the time. I want a lot of men with pipes, or the Japanese. Yeah. Or some team of people who know what they're talking about and have researched it and have crash tested it and made it absolutely 100% safe.
Not a person who randomly offers his sperm to people on the internet, which is the thing that he's done. Exactly. It's a real. Feel free to Google that.
Exactly.
Are you back now? Well, that was a weird thing to read, right? Welcome back to the podcast. Nothing we've said seems as weird as that since you went and Googled that. And then John's last question was, what's the weirdest smell you've ever smelled or smell you've ever made?
Oh, God.
That's a hard one.
It is a hard one. Any smell I make has, of course, got to be anal. Hasn't it? Really? I mean, is there anyone here who's going to put their hands up and go, actually, no, I've got a left armpit that challenges my arse on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think everyone's butt is the main problem.
Thanks to years of hay fever, and I had really bad hay fever as a kid, and it's still pretty bad now. Even though it's not hay fever season, I still walk around with handkerchiefs on me because it's just blowing my nose the whole time. My sense of smell's pretty much banjaxed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but there are a very. Any smell I remember has got to be very strong.
Yeah. So if we even just went to what is the most recent smell you remember,
Well, there's pleasant smells. I mean, last night I was in the cinema. You get the overall aroma of popcorn.
The popcorn, the sticky seats,
I really
sticky floors.
maybe I'm alone in this. Maybe it's just, but I really like the sweet smell of the wind that precedes a tube train arriving in London.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That kind of, you feel it coming through.
Exactly. I know. I mean, if you've been in London for most of your life, you lived there for a few years, you go, I hate it. It's full of germs. I'm already ill. But I still love it. I still think it's great.
Yeah, I like that. You just feel that kind of air, that rush of it coming through. Yeah. You're like, oh, train's coming.
I'm absolutely convinced. I couldn't describe the smell, but I'm absolutely convinced in my sort of 20s, when it was me and other comedians living together, and we would just never clean the kitchen. And occasionally you'd just come across, I thought we threw that mug out. Oh, yes. God, no. God. There's some new form of fungi growing in it. Ugh. And then you stare at it. And you've got to take a whiff and see what it was. Just, I'm sure different foodstuffs and what have you have different smells.
Definitely.
And that's probably a contributing factor to why I don't like gravy. Because congealed gravy looks...
It looks so horrendous.
Oh, God. I feel it in the back of my throat.
Yeah. Ugh.
The smells associated... I'm convinced the smells associated with kitchen mold that's been left there for only an amount of time that a group of young men would leave it there for has been... Not just because of my nose, but has been blanked from my memory.
Yeah.
Because people have walked into our flat back there and go, God, this stinks. And we were sitting there, does it?
Does it? Yeah.
Really? We have no idea. I mean, I know that particular bit by the sink stinks.
Yeah.
Sink stinks, but God.
Yeah.
That was the flat where our flush didn't work.
Oh, no.
And so if you flush, you filled up a bucket and poured it in after a poo. We're not animals.
Yeah.
But after a pee.
You just leave it.
Yeah. And it got left.
If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
Oh, no. That's not good.
Oh, dear.
Having a rhyme for it doesn't make it right.
Merlin, is that okay? I don't know. Okay, I think it was fine. I think it's fine.
Your podcast, your rules, I suppose.
Don't put this on me. I didn't invent this.
I'm not accepting any drink you offer me.
Well, I remember there was a guy, a comedian who many years ago in Dublin lived above one of the clubs, had an apartment there, and then started doing comedy. But like people would get so drunk and go back to his apartment, and it was just a chaotic. It had no windows. It was clearly not meant for humans to live there. But there was one day someone was like walking to the bathroom and just went, also I should tell you about this place that it used to be a bar. So this was a bar that was turned into an apartment, and it used to be a sauna bar. So this was when they didn't have gay bars in Dublin during the 80s. There was like a sauna, and so like the kitchen was like a bar area, and it looked very much like, oh, these are just
everyone
rooms.
wearing vinyl dog.
Yeah. And one time they had to lift up a piece of floor that was coming away, and there was just loads of porn just hitting underneath the floorboards. And I was like, no one's ever had that before, where they actually find porn on the floorboards. But one time somebody was just walking through visiting. They went, "This doorway smells of peanuts." We were like, "What?" We all went to that doorway, and it stank of peanuts in this just one space inside of a doorway.
Wow.
Stank of peanuts. No idea why. Still a mystery to this day.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bar whose name has just escaped my head. Anyway, but it's changed now.
Yeah.
They had a refurb, but you would walk into the gents' loos and there were massive mushrooms growing up.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, thank God I can't smell anything.
Yeah.
But there's some sort of smells you just, as soon as you smell them again, you remember them. I went to
it just brings
university
you right back.
In Sunderland. For all good it did me. And they had the Vaux Brewery.
Yeah.
So, it's like when you grow up in a town with a brewery, you wander around, you get that smell of
all the brewing.
They used to have it down in Fountain Bridge in Edinburgh as well before they shut that. And you say, oh, they're doing this bit today, are they? and you're just like that sort of weird smell that kind of puts you in for a
Kind
pint.
of sugar puffs, kind of
Yeah.
something. It's just
all sorts of things.
that's a good smell, I think. But yeah, the weirdest smell. I think we've clarified that. Then thank you very much, John Hastings, for your questions. We appreciate that they were clearly thrown together last minute, but we've really got as much out of them as we possibly could. We did it. So, Stu, for people watching who've enjoyed hanging out with you today and want to see you in the future, where can they go? What do you have coming up in the future? Plug your stuff.
I tend to work in Scotland, sometimes the northeast of England as well. So it's just a case of keeping out for my Instagram feed, keep an eye out on the websites of places like Monkey Barrel, places like The Stand. We have another tour of Harry Potter, Spontaneous Potter coming up in spring next year, I believe.
Yeah.
I'll be down in London next week doing the Comedy Store Players. I will let you know as and when
Yes.
I am performing.
And if you do see Stu, please do go up and say, "Can you please tell me to suck your balls?" It's the quote of the show, everybody.
Only when my family are there.
Well, we've had such a lovely time. Thank you so much for
Yes.
coming in, Stu.
You can hear me on my podcast too.
Oh yes, of course. Plug your podcast.
Stu and Joe's Big Dumb Film Show.
It's big, it's dumb, and it's about
Big,
film.
it's dumb. It's two nerds nerding out over films that most other people have probably forgotten. And we enjoy it.
Well, thank you for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to leave a review. You can obviously find new episodes every Wednesday wherever you find podcasts or here on YouTube. Please leave a comment if you've got any questions. Stu absolutely will not be reading them, but I'll see them. And if you want to come see comedy, we're here at Monkey Barrel Comedy all the time. I'm hosting a show every Saturday at 5 p.m. Thanks for joining us this week. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you again next time. I've been George Fox. You've been Stu Murphy. Enjoy the rest of your week.
There's something hiding under the ice, imitation of a sound. There's something standing behind the door. Would you like?